At the start of the manga, VCR main character is trying to study. His friend came there and said, "Are you still studying?" This friend says, "You are putting all in for the test." On which the main character replies, "Tough when you are aiming for a good college, isn't it?" As the main character's friend left, we see a girl twirling her hair. VCR main character already knows about it, and as his friend left, we see a gal-looking girl with large breasts entering the room. She dropped the bag near Arvind character's bench and lump on him, but the main character moved away as she was about to hug him. So, she fell on the desk. She said, "Why are you trying to avoid me?" On which the main character says, she knows he will dodge. We get to know the name of this character, she is Katabami-san. The main character says, "Get out of my way so I can study," on which the girl does not move an inch. The main character says, "Maybe it's because we've known each other since we were kids, or maybe because she's carefree." And we get to know that she is also a shape-shifting fox. She seductively says, "Why don't you move me out of the way?" The main character says, "It's always been bad with Katabami-san." We see she's twirling her in the main character's face and saying, There, what's the matter?" We get to know that ever since the main character was a kid, she's been making him cry. She chased after him with strange objects such as a snake. She used her power as a mischievous fox to play pranks on him. The main character always has to hide her identity so that no one knows about it. We see that the main character had enough, and he grappled the tail of the fox girl and pulled it. He said he had told her not to show her tail and ears at school. As he pulled the tail, the girl started to make sound. The main character said it will be bad if she is caught. The girl, who is looking like she had done the dirty, says with a mischievous face, "Do you like to be rough?" In a seductive manner, she said, "You are so naughty." The main character still thinks of her as a pain in the butt. We see that she's running around our main character saying he is pervy. The main character says, "That's enough, and don't disturb me while I'm studying." She said, "How boring." The main character said, "Drop it." He said she'll get carried away if he does not shut her up. Now the main character said, "If she's got nothing, then go home," on which the fox girl says, "Okay," but she suddenly got an idea. She picked up her bag and said, "This is so boring, she is out of here," as she left for the house. The main character finally says that she is a noisy one, and it's good she left, but he ponders in his mind that she left a bit too easily. The main character thinks that she's still out there as he rose up his seat and goes out for checking. He said that he is overthinking about her. He said that dealing with it's such a pain in the butt, but it's not like he hates her, so he feels a bit guilty. As he's thinking about it, he opens up a bottle of soda and starts to gulp it. He said that he should give her some more attention tomorrow. As he's drinking the soda, we get to know that the fox girl has transformed into the soda bottle, and we see that she is right now being kissed by our main character. As the main character realized it, he got a blushy face, and we see the mischievous face of the fox skull. The fox girl is trying to tease him now, saying, "What's this? You just kissed on my cheeks." She said, "This gentleman is so naughty." The main character finally had enough, and he said that he can't study at school, so he's going home, on which the girl says, "Is he leaving so soon?" She said, "Let's have some fun," but our main character denies and moves on. She said, "Let's go hang out somewhere like karaoke park, crayfishing something," on which our main character shuts her up. The main character says, for these times, he has prepared something special, and he takes out a fish container out of his bag. As she sees it, she gets all aroused, and her tail and ears popped right out. The main character says, "Hide your ears and tails," and gives her the sushi. As she is eating the sushi, the main character quickly heads out for home. We see that the main character has gotten a bit far, and he says that she is probably not chasing after him right now. He ponders that her cheeks were so soft when he kissed her. He says to his mind that do not be swayed, she is a vixen. As he said that to himself, we see that she has already appeared before him and said, "You gotten that happy, well then how about another one?" On which the main character calls her a vixen. We see that it's another day in school, and the main character had got things good today. He said that he's been able to solve the difficult past examination as we see the vixen doing some mischievous things. The main character says to himself, as long as there isn't any unnecessary noise, he will be all right. We see that the fox girl had made some noise while observing our main character, on which our main character directly calls her out. She quickly tried to hide her toy, and we see as the main character invites her in. He said he will lie her debit it for tomorrow. We see she's looking a bit down and says, I'm in character's name. The main character asked her what is wrong with her, on which she says that out of nowhere, her chest hurts a bit. On which the main character asks her, what happened to your chest? On which she said that she suddenly feels this tightness in her chest. She said, it's beating so fast, on which our main character says, you are obviously lying. The fox girl is trying to show that she is in pain. She said that she is feeling dizzy, and she is fainting now as she dropped on the dirty floor. We get to know that the main character knows that she's pretending to play dead, and he is telling us how many times he has been fallen for that. We see that in childhood, the fox girl used to do the same, and as our main character tried to help her, she used to scare him and then pulled him into her arms. The main character says ever since he was a kid, she had made him worry about her just to take advantage of him, but not anymore, she can never trick him again. That is what he says. The main character is getting a bit anxious and can't concentrate as he doesn't know what she will come up next. He said she is being surprisingly quiet today, and we see her figure which looks like she fell asleep salivating from her tongue. VCR main character gets close to her and says he wishes she will be always this quiet. But he says this happens only when she's sleeping, right? He says how can she sleep on the floor such soundly? As the main characters touch her, she opened her eyes. The man clicked and knew he let his guard down. As the main character is trying to do something, she quickly came on her feet, put her arm behind the main character, and hugged him so tight. The main character was being strangled in her breast. We see her saying with a mischievous look, did you try to approach me all of a sudden? She said, it looks like he has been tricked again. She said, you have never been changed ever since you were a kid, you are so easy to trick. She said, now you are going to play with me. The main character says, you are not the same size like when we were kids. The main character says, he will come, just let him go. We see a karaoke center with a fox logo on it. We see that the fox girl is trying to sing in the karaoke with our main character, as they are getting hyped up. We see that our main character finally realized something, that he had forgotten everything that he had studied one more time because of the stranglement of her breasts. We see the fox girl roaming in the school hall, wondering what she should play with her main character today. Suddenly she had called out by someone. We see that it's a teacher. She is saying, you are sneaking around the main character, aren't you? She said, do not hang around school after the school is over, on which our fox con agreed to it as the teacher left. We see the mischievous sign on our fox girl's face, and she gets the idea for today. VCR character was studying math in his classroom. He was trying to solve a question with a different kind of formula. As he is doing that, we see that the door is now open, and out of the door, the teacher who we met earlier comes in the class. She says, you haven't gone to school yet, on which the main character sizes it. The teacher said to our main character, you are staying late again. She said, don't stay behind too much at school, it's a pain, on which our main character apologized. She said with a mischievous look in her eyes, which one? Which problem are you stuck on? I will help you, on which our main character says, sure. She says to her main character, you study too much, you know, students learn better when they have some fun once in a while, on which our main character makes a dead expression. She said, let me teach you how to have fun, how about it? On which our main character denies. We see that the teacher usually is gloomy and think that guys that play around too much are trash and sturdy enough to be able to do calculus in your head. The main character thinks she's usually more like this. The main character said more importantly he is stuck at a math problem of 11th like our main character thought it was the fox girl who has disguised himself as the sensei. He said to himself look like she has disguised herself, but it doesn't seem like she knows that he knows that she is the fox girl. The main character says if that's the case, then it would be okay to play a little prank on her. The main character tries to ask her a question about, and as the fox girl gets close, the main character touched her invisible ears saying that there is some lint on her ear. We get to know that the ears of Vixen are quite sensitive as our main character does the ear. We see that she's getting more and more aroused. We see that our main character touched her invisible tail on which she said in the sense's voice, what are you doing? Our main character said, what is wrong? On which she said, no, nothing. We see that she is losing all her senses as it is making her tickle and aroused, She's thinking for a second if the main character is doing it consciously as he figured her out. The main character, who was just trying to mess with her, forgot about it and is thinking that her tail is so fluffy and enjoying it. The main character said he is satisfied, and let's call it a quit. He finally reveals the truth about how he knew that was the fox girl and asks her if she wants some sushi, on which the fox girl said, sure. We see that she is finally in her real form, looking all embarrassed and beautiful. She asked the main character, how did he know? The main character said, first of all, your acting was off today. It was left sharp then used well. Maybe, he said, turning into a teacher, it was a great idea. He said, you were kind of weak today. The fox girl, getting defeated and embarrassed, said, don't use that tone with me. Don't you dare, on which she became a cartoon character and said, stupid, to our main character and said he was an idiot. She said, do not think that you won. The main character, as she was leaving, said he has seen some things like this before. He said that the fox girl will be quiet for a few minutes, but only for a few minutes. We see that the fox girl has returned to the classroom and hanging to the door. She said, could I have some sushi, please? With the embarrassed and sad-looking tone, on which our main character laughs and give her some sushi. Seeing her miserable state, she asked him for some juice too, on which our main character, enjoying it, said, okay, and gave her the juice. She then asks for some fried chicken from the convenience store, on which the main character said, just eat, and gave her that too. He said he ended up laughing so much but he feels kind of bad about it, but he haven't seen her like this anytime soon, and we see the mischievous smile on the face of the fox. The main character realized that it was all part of her plan. He wonders from when did she make such a cruel plan. Once again, the fox girl has won it all, and she has the main character on his knees as she is eating and running away at the same time.
It looks like this time, Kumo-kun is in the library. As he pokes his head out, we observe him saying that he has some books that are due. Of course, the library girl says yes. It looks like the main character wants to renew this one book. As he takes out that book, we observe his eyes landing somewhere. He is surprised to see the mischievous fox come there. As he takes her name, she slyly says the name of the main character, while the library girl is just confused about what's happening. We observe her mischievously saying, welcome. Of course, the main character was quite annoyed, saying, what the hell are you doing? While we just observe her smiling toward the main character, saying, I am the president of the library committee. He was quite surprised. The main character says, Kataba Missen, who takes nothing seriously, is the president? But she just replies to him, I am serious about it. Fine, 1 second, it looked like she was braiding her hair, as well as asking the library lady for her specs. In the next second, we see silky hair and braids that are looking gorgeous on her. Jesus Tad. This is Kataba Misana's serious librarian mode. Engage. She is so proud of it, while the main character just thinks, except that your appearance has nothing to do with it. We observe him putting the book on the table, saying, well, as long as you were taking it seriously anyways, extend this. We observe her putting her hands to her mouth, thinking about something very seriously. In the next second, she says to him, surprisingly, I don't know how to do that, so just take it. The library girl just raised her hand, saying, Senpai, I will do it, so please don't give our books away. Of course, the mischievous fox girl was just joking about it. Asked the library girl, she says, you are so serious, haha. We observe the main character teaching her about how the president needs to have her act together. This and that, and you should listen up. We observe someone just started munching on food, as crunchy noises were all coming from her. We observe the mischievous fox girl looking toward her, saying, you need to stop making more work for your assistant. The main character was telling her this, as she looked toward where the noise was coming from. We see her getting up from her table, saying sorry to the main character and holding on. The main character thinks about how she has become serious and what is going on. The main character says to the librarian, sorry about her. Don't be afraid to tell her to take it seriously. The librarian was just shocked at the main character's words. She thinks about how, well, no, actually, Kataba-senpai is usually very serious about her work. We get to know that she is very good at paying attention to people who come in, and the main character was quite surprised by that. We see the girl who is eating chips and reading some kind of book in the library gets a pat on her back by the mischievous fox girl as she says, hey, what have you got there? She was quite startled by her voice. We observe the mischievous Foxgirl apologizing to her and told her about how she understands that reading totally makes you want to smack her. He says to her, "But you know, unfortunately, rules are rules." "Whoa, hold on. These are the new flavor," she says as she looks toward them. We see her saying, "See how she keeps the mood light even when giving a warning? She doesn't want to ruin anyone's day." It seems that the librarian got quite a good impression of her, as she says to the main character, "I am not good at talking, so she really helps me. I think she is amazing." We observe her smiling and laughing with that girl. The main character says that it looks like she can be serious when it matters. Well, her personality changed quite fast as she came towards the main character. The main character just said to her that she has done a good job. We observe how she was grinning as she took out the packet. It looks like she ended up talking to the girl and was able to acquire this packet of chips. The main character was quite surprised, as well as the librarian, who thinks, "And you took them?" Well, she was waving bye to the girl. The main character and the librarian just think about how you can't say that she doesn't let opportunities pass by. She's a vixen, all right. I like that about Kitaba Messina-senpai too. As we observe her waving toward the librarian, she says, "Okay, that just leaves locking up, so you can take off." The librarian thanks her. We observe her trying to lock the door, and with that, both the main character and she have come out of the room. She is walking in the hallway, crunching and munching on those chips that she got from the girl, as we see her confused. She asks the main character if he wants them as well. The main character just says no. We observe the main character saying to her about how he was wrong and had misjudged her, and that he thinks that he only got in the way of her. She was quite surprised by his words, as we see her ears popping out. As the main character was going to apologize, in the next second, we see her transforming into her vixen state, seeing, "Could it be that you were lonely?" The main character just says no while blushing, saying, "I might have been in the way today, but I'm more meant that if that was how you always were, things would be a lot easier for me." We see her unbraiding her hair, and those long, luscious hairs of the vixen were now flowing. As we see her posing, saying, "Kitaba Misana's usual mode has been activated and she is back." We observe how she was clinging to the main character, saying, "Do you feel better now that I am back to normal?" We observe her tail caressing the main character, as the main character says to her, "Come on, don't wrap your tail around me." We see she just did that once again. The main character says, "Fine, I do feel better." She says, That's good. To be honest, Kamoko-kun, it looks like there's quite a cute side to her as well." The fox girl, who is just sitting, we observe her humming her folk's voice, saying, "Let's hang out." As we see our image, we now ask, "Where did he run off to?" We see the back right in front of her and her sly smile, with her mischievous look and those vixen airs. The main character, who just rubs his hand and came into the classroom, says, "Well, I guess I will have to head home." As he came closer to the bag and picked it up, we observed that the bag's weight was too much, and he almost stumbled down. He couldn't understand why this bag was so freaking heavy. This thing is unreal. As we observe some air poking out of the bags with some print sign on it. The main character said, "It weighs a ton." We observe with a large puff of smoke, and the vixen has finally turned into her original form, taking the main character's name with her mischievous face and embracing him. The main character says, "So it was you, Kitaba Mizana, after all," she says, as her chest presses against the main character. "Who are you calling heavy? That's beyond rude." The main character says, "Her boobies are touching my back." We observe her climbing over the main character, saying, "You little bit." As we see her biting the main character's head, the main character is just screaming out. We see she is holding on top of him, almost sitting on him. The main character screams out, "So heavy." She says, "You are still saying that? Why? Okay, I get it now. Can you please just get off?" The main character begged her. We see her mischievous smile as she says, "Well, since I'm already up here." We see her now getting his head between her thighs as he was quite embarrassed by it, and her chest dangling over his head, as she says, "Dank, move out," to the main character. The main character was quite struggling, as well as embarrassed by her thighs and her chest. We see, as a punishment, the main character will have to walk like this all the way home. The main character says that that is too harsh for him. Hold on, whatever happened to my actual back? The main character thinks to himself. Once again, the girl has won, and the main character has been embarrassed. we see this time. It's nighttime, and the main character, who is just studying, says, "Let's see, how do I use this formula again?" As we observe the vixen out on his balcony, looking toward her with a shady look, we observe her eyes googling toward the main character. It looks like a ghost as she says, "That doesn't look right. What am I doing wrong?" We see her intently looking toward the main character. Well, in the morning, it looks like the main character has overslept and he is now going to be late. But he looked toward the vixen who is sitting on the slab. As the main character says, "I can't afford to waste any more time," we observe her full body sitting on his lap. She says, "Morning," to the main character, saying, "Shall I show you a shortcut?" As her sly smile and mischievous face are observed by the main character, he thinks to himself about how he has a very bad feeling about this. But the main character does say, "Sure." We observe how she took the hand of the main character, saying, come on, let's go move." And she started pulling the main character towards somewhere, saying, "Let's go. This is over here." The main character was trying to hold her own, as we see both of them start running. The main character resists, saying, "You're going too fast. Wait up." But the girl is just running like it's a marathon. We observe the main character coming to an end at a dead end, as he says, "Oh no, she was just here a second ago." As he takes the name of her, we observe someone poking him from above, taking his name. And there it is, the vixen who is sitting on the fencing with her tail and her ears out, saying, "I'm up here." And, "Just where are you climbing off?" To the main character, he says, we observe how the main character has also climbed on the border of the land. As he says, "This is pretty high up," but she just says, come on, as we see the main character following her steps. She says, "Watch your steps." We observe how the sly fox tells the main character about how they have made it finally. And as she says, "Tada, this is my favorite spot." It looks like she has taken him to her favorite spot, which is a beautiful scenery. The main character, who is already tired, just says, "You don't say. It's not a care in the world, huh?" That's Kataba Misen. The main character, who is used to this, just sits on the bench, saying to her, "Well, I should have known you weren't serious about helping me." We see her saying to the main character, "So, do you like this place?" The main character and she, sitting on the bench together, look towards the scenery as he says, "Yes, I do. It's really peaceful here." We observe her stroking the main character's body with her tail, saying, "I noticed that you have been staying up late to study recently." With her mischievous smile, she continues, "You look exhausted, so I just wanted to lift your spirits a bit. That is all." The next second, we observe her taking the main character and putting him to sleep on her thighs as she pats him, saying, "So, I will treat you to something special today and let you lay on my lap." We see the embarrassed main character soon starting to feel quite relaxed as both of them look at the scenery and feel okay. We observe how she says, "Do you remember the quiz from the other day? After you caught it back, you had this troubled look on your face." It looked like she had seen the main character quite worried. She even tried to mess with him, but he did not react at all, annoyed or rather saddened by it. She just looked at the main character going to his home in a sad gesture. We observe her pressing her chest against the main character's head, saying, "I assumed you already prepared yourself for the punishment." We see the main character embarrassingly saying to her, "Wait, let me explain." We observe him saying, "I just want to put my best efforts into school, but sometimes I get overwhelmed and push myself too hard. I honestly feel better now, though. This really is a great spot, isn't it?" We observe the main character telling her how he appreciated that she looked out for him, and this made the vixen quite embarrassed. She says, well, buckle up, because we are going to the school this time." We see him thinking, what? We observe her taking the main character in her mouth, holding him by the collar, as we see her changing into her true form and running as fast as she can. They arrive at the school with some time to spare. The main character just thanks her for the lift, while she smilingly says, "I will take a lot of sushi as my reward." Got it? It looks like the wholesome tale of the main character and the vixen ends here, with both of them winning that day. We observe the sweat-covered body of everyone present there. All the girls are wearing undergarments, which are covered in sweat. They say they feel pooped, as having gym at the 6th is such a pain for them. We observe the fox girl, who is also there, checking her own bazookas as everyone looked towards her in shock. The girls were trying to grab each other's body spray. And as all of them looked towards her, we observe one of them coming towards her, engaging in some kind of mischievous activity, saying, "I see you are busy as ever." She replied, "Come on, cut it down. Don't rub them." We observe one of the people take their phone out, saying, "Hey, check this out." People say it's crazy good. They all look towards the phone and see a crazy-looking sushi on it. They call it the typing inari. It looks amazing, and the restaurant is close to their school. We observe how the fox girl is drooling at the sight of it, as she really loves sushi. We observe her totally embarrassed and trembling, saying, "Oh crap, we're going to be late for homeroom." She goes out of the room while the girls say that they are heading over this way. She makes some excuses, and now she is off on her own track that we observe that she has come into the class of the main character, sitting at the table. Everyone looked towards her, while some girl says to her, "Baby, we're going to check out the sushi place from earlier. Want to come with us?" She says that she has to pass for him, but the main character overhears their conversation. She just tells everyone that she is not that hungry right now. As they all leave, saying bye to her, they observe the main character turning to look towards her, and she, who is almost transforming into her real form, is drooling with her mouth down as she wants to eat the sushi and is getting mad about that fish. Of course, because she's a fox, the main character realizes, so, was it a lie after all? We observe the main character taking the name of her, saying, "Kataba Missin, are you alright?" But she's just thinking about the fish. We observe her using her hand as a handkerchief to wipe her drool, saying yes. The main character asks, "You should have gone with them. Are you having marriage troubles again?" She says to the main character that she is flat broke, so that's how it is. We observe her biting the table of the main character, saying that she's craving sushi and can't do anything about it. The main character tries to stop her from eating his bench as he says to her, "Could you please stop biting my desk?" But she's trying to eat it, imagining it is sushi. The main character is now in agony as all his desk is covered with bite marks. The main character asks, "Okay, so you are really that hungry, huh?" She says, "Well, it's just that I got hungry. It's all." We observe her coming towards the main character with her tail and ears poking out, saying to him while hanging towards him, "I'm super hungry all of a sudden." And she says, "I wonder why. I feel like this when I went hard during gym, saw some food sauce. That's all it took." We observe her removing her clothes and then showing her stomach to the main character, saying, "Want to take a listen?" The main character embarrassingly says, "What are you saying?" We observe her taking his head and pulling him in towards her by sticking him up to her stomach, saying, "Hold on. What are you? Are you releasing closely?" We observe the main character, and as soon as he touched her stomach, he heard a noise so loud that it almost burst his eardrums. He screamed in pain. We observe her laughing in her cat form, saying, "That was so loud." The main character said, while holding his head, "Since when do stomach aches make noises like that?" We see her singing to the main character. "Now, do you understand how hungry I am?" The main character said to her, "I get it. I get it." We observe how now she doesn't care what it is. She just wants to put something in her mouth already, and she chomps on the main character's toolbox. The main character says, "Please don't eat my toolbox," while we observe the toolbox in the main character's hand as he says, "If you need to chow on something, bite your own stuff." We observe her mischievous smile coming towards us as she says, "Something of my own." In the next second, we observe her taking the dominant position and pinning the main character towards the ground as she gets on top of him. The main character, who looked towards her face, which is oozing with "I'm good," says, "Oh, Fox, after all?" Is she trying to eat the main character? We observe her licking the main character more, just that, but even biting him. The main character is getting more and more embarrassed. Now, she is biting the main character's ears and his neck. The girl is salivating all over the main character. We observe her getting up, saying, "I am satisfied," as she takes on her sly smile form, saying, "How about we head home now, Kamuku?" We observe the main character, who is on the ground sobbing, saying, "Why? Why would you do something like that?" As we observe her saying to him, patting him, "Of course, because you are a free meal this time." It looks like the main character almost got eaten by this mischievous fox. In that empty playground, two children are sitting. It looks like the main character and the fox girl in their childhood state. As the main character asks the fox girl if he can call her by her first name, the girl, who is sitting in front of him, says, "No way." The main character was a bit hesitant, but asked, "Oh, why not?" She says, "No reason." The main character says, "But I think it's cute." "What the heck, that's gross," she responds, and as we observe, even in the flashback, the main character is still a wimp. We observe him saying, "It's unlikely for you to be so bold." The main character apologized, and it looks like he has to punish her with his iron condor squeeze again. He screams out, "Please don't." We observe the main character, who is sitting in the class, wondering about something as he thinks, "I thought she would come over by now. She's just over there fidgeting. It's rather strange." We observe her struggling with something on the glass door. The main character couldn't figure out what was happening as she came close to him. We see her hesitant state near the main character, which is quite unlikely of her, as we've seen in the past. We observe her taking the main character's hand as she says his name. We observe her saying, "Sorry, I can't mess around with you today," as we see her all flustered. The main character was a bit hesitant as she says, "But I was wondering if maybe you could please help me do some grocery shopping?" We observe the main character just looking towards her as she says, "I have a feeling you're going to say no way." The main character says, "Sure, that's fine. It's no big deal really. Would you?" But the main character, who is just looking for this chance with a blushy cheek, says, "Leave it to me. Don't let appearances fool you. I am a man after all." We observe the main character's steps, which feel like a gravitational pull by the sun, as we observe how the main character has to climb all of these hundreds of stairs up with the bags filled with the rations of the fox girl. The main character, who is so confident, thinks to himself that he was overconfident. That's right, Katagami-san's house is. We observe the fox girl saying to the main character, "Hang in there. I feel like my limbs are going to fall off." The main character, who is thinking about how to forget that her house is this high up and that she buys in bulk, says, "Although usually you only buy about half this much." We observe her saying in an embarrassed tone with a blushy face, "Yes, well, I actually forgot to go shopping 2 days ago, so you really need to stop that." The main character, who is getting pressed by her body, mainly by her chest, says, There, I will use my body to help you." We observe the main character, who is already struggling and now blushing, thinking, "If I lose consciousness now, I will never make it, so please stop." As we observe them finally reach their destination, we see a majestic, shining structure. Someone says, "It's been a while, Kataba-missin. Your house is the one in black, right?" "Yep. Feel free to let yourself in," says the main character as he enters the house, saying, "Pardon the intrusion." We observe how there are already multiple foxy girls looking towards the main character, peeking out of the room. We observe all of them knowing the main character as they say, "It's Shimonia-chan." We observe every one of them being happy to see the main character as all of them hug him, saying, "You are all energetic as ever, I see. So, would you please put these?" he says, naming the fox girl, who was trying to get out of the situation very calmly, as the main character took the name Katabami-san. It looks like it won't work as all of them are Katabami. We observe the main character blushing a bit, but looking towards this moment, and with a straight voice, calling the name of the fox girl, saying Tama-chan. We observe how she was totally stuck in by the main character calling her and all of her sisters and brothers, or whoever they are, blushing towards it. We observe her totally mesmerized by it, blushing all over as she takes the main character's collar, saying, "If that's how it's going to be." We observe her dragging the main character with her, saying, "Please put all the bags in the kitchen, Nazumoka." We observe how everyone there is now blushing, calling the main character's name and calling the fox girl's name altogether, as all of them are totally embarrassed. We observe the fox girl lunging towards her family, saying, "I will popularize you." As we observe the main character, he says, "They get along well nicely." Nicely, the main character, who put all the rations in place, comes out and sees the power struggle going on in the family. She says, "She got me. I am sorry, Najin. I am sorry." With how lively they are, it's no wonder things get so out of hand. We observe her totally embarrassed and angry face as the main character looks towards her. She says, "That should teach them a lesson. She is tough, you know? They will tease you if you react that way." My bad," he responds as we observe the foggy girl taking something out of the kitchen and saying, I mean, you don't normally use that dumb name with me, Tama-chan. That's true. That reminds me of the time I tried calling you Tama-chan back when we were kids, he says. We observe her trying to brush off any memory of that, saying, I don't recall that. Pretty sure you told me to stop calling you that back then. Nope, it doesn't ring a bell, she replies, trying to make the main character stop saying it. Forget it. I'm going to start baking dinner. So now please get out of the kitchen. The main character says, okay, I'll see you later. We observe her hearing this and responding. See you later? What are you saying? It's not like I'm telling you to go home. You're sleeping over tonight, along with dinner and a bath. The main character is totally embarrassed by what she said, turning around 180 degrees. We observe how the night is at its peak, and the cabin is still shining bright. Inside, we see the main character and the family of the Foxgirl. Everyone's eating when she says, don't just guzzle it all down, you idiots. She asks the main character if he is eating as well. Isn't he? We observe how everyone in her family eats way too much. Well, anyways, we see how she, with her tail, is teasing the main character. The main character reassures her that he is eating well and is glad. The main character, who is looking towards the rice, observes how the portion of his rice is kind of big for him. He sweats a bit seeing it, but as he observes everyone else, he thinks about how they are surprisingly well-behaved right now. He thought there would be more fighting, but everyone is calm. We observe the Foxgirl saying, yet they tend to snack on fruits and such in the mountains during the day, so they're usually not too hungry for dinner. I see, the main character responds, asking her, but that's a shame, considering how great your cooking is. This statement makes her blush out of her mind. In the next second, she just fondles the main character, rubbing herself all over him, turning into her fox form. Seeing all this, the main character says, that's a big compliment, I hear. But the main character just says, it's just a little one. We observe her family laughing at her as they eat, their puffy cheeks looking quite comedic. She looks away, embarrassed. We observe how they say, well, the truly concerning part is what comes after dinner, but the main character thinks to himself, but I can't think about that. I need to focus on finishing this huge meal. The main character tells the Foxgirl, well, dinner's fine, but a bath might be a bit much. He gets the reply, come on, you really helped me out today. Of course, you need to be paid back in full. We just see the sly smile of this vixen, who thinks about how, besides the dangers around here at night, she can't just let him go home at this hour. Don't worry your pretty little head, she says. The main character realizes this and is quite scared hearing her voice. She says while giving her mischievous smile, oof, oof. I will scrub your whole body real good part-time. We observe how the main character is very embarrassingly blushing, thinking, of course, it turns out this way. This is just what I thought would happen. The main character had some idea, but he thinks about how bathing together is just too much. I can't handle that, he says, trying to wash his hands in the basin. Thanks for the meal. Boy, I am sure tired. I will probably just call it a night. But we observe how the Foxgirl became all too cynical in front of him. So, you're still so sweaty? To consider skipping bath time is kind of bad, she says, coming closer to him and starting to sniff him. We observe the whole picture. The main character's face is rubbing against her bazongas, and she is sniffing him from head to toe. The main character just stammers embarrassingly. She orders her family to take him right away to the bath area. The main character couldn't help it as all the people dragged him. He tried to say something, but it was all for nothing. We observe the mischievous smile of the Foxgirl, watching her family take the main character away, as he was still unsure if his body really smelled that bad. We observe a small picture of the bathhouse, or the bath area they've been taken to. It's an open-door bath and a hot spring at that. The main character just relaxes, thinking to himself, now that I think about it, she can't actually be serious about bathing together. It's just more of her teasing. Yes, he tried to assure himself. We observe him standing, thinking. That aside, it's pretty amazing that Katabami's son's house has an open-air bath. Was there always a hot spring here? He wonders, thinking how it is quite a nice spot. We observe someone's hand coming through the door, and in the next second, we see how the Foxgirl has entered, saying, so, you didn't wimp out. You really got in the bath. The main character looks toward her direction, afraid that in the next second, Every one of Katabami's family members enters the bath. All of them are girls, by the way. We observe how they have barely covered themselves, and the main character, watching them, is quite startled. We see everyone jumping into the bath as the main character goes almost head deep into the water. That's the stuff. It's been a while since we last bathed together, the Foxgirl says. We observe how the main character is dying of embarrassment. We see the sly grin of her, and the main character tries not to look at her. In the next second, we observe how she lets go of her towel and pats the main character on the head, saying, "Camugun, your face is getting way too red." In the next second, we observe how he is trying to get out of the bath, almost naked, saying, "I'm ready to get out. I'm going out now." We observe how the Foxgirl tries to hold him, telling him to wait a second. In the next scene, we observe how she holds the main character, and that hand doesn't look like it is going somewhere good. "Come on, you just got into the water, didn't you?" she says. We observe him screaming as her naked body touches his. In the next second, we observe how he faints because of this, and everyone gathers around him, saying he died. Kamoni-chan died. We observe the panic the Foxgirl faces during this, as she apologizes to the main character. We observe someone else entering the shrine, or at least being at the gate of the shrine. We see a woman with black hair and a black tail. It looks like she might have two tails with a greenish smile that looks a bit dangerous. Looks like we're going to get some new developments. We observe a little story about Katabami Kamako, as we see her looking toward the oil extinguisher and getting closer to it. The Foxgirl says to her, "You know you're not allowed to mess around with that, right?" But she just tries to act cool and cute. In the next second, we observe her taking the pin out of the extinguisher, saying it's expensive to replace, and we need it in case of emergencies. She didn't care, though. In the next second, we observe her using it, causing a lot of noise. The Foxgirl is worried, but the girl just gives a green smile to the Foxgirl, who is now lamenting with anger. We observe the sister and the brother of the Foxgirl. One of them says, "I'm going to get the Foxgirl in the as hard as I can." He's trying to hit her, but the second one says, "This is a bad idea. Let's just drop it." We observe how she is working, and we see that the youngest didn't care and hit the Foxgirl, saying, "I will win this time." But a simple player from the Foxgirl had both of them tied to a tree. They all apologized to the Foxgirl, saying, "Forgive us." Even the youngest was crying, as she says, "Ambushing your sister is a serious crime. No can do." We see how the Katabami residence is always like this, as we see the Foxgirl getting a soft foot on the futon, thinking about how soft it is. In the next second, she turns into a fox and leaps onto the futon, squeaking, "So soft." She's relaxing. We observe her sisters coming from the back, one by one, changing into their fox form and getting on top of her. We see how the whole family climbs up, sleeping like a pack of wolves. We observe how, because of this, the Foxgirl gets uncomfortable, as there are a lot of things on her, and she feels the weight and heat. It looks like her life is not as easy as we thought. As the main character woke up because of the shine of the sun, Katabami-san was sleeping alongside with her siblings near the main character. As he realized that it was her house, we see his gloomy face. He's thinking, "How did I end up here again? How?" As he remembers what happened the last night in the bareback movement. As he thinks about it, he screams out and yells, which annoys her and her siblings who are sleepy. We observe as he was trying to relive those embarrassing moments, thinking, "So embarrassing." She woke up saying, "You are so noisy, Kamoni-chan." He apologized, but sat outside sighing, taking a breath, thinking to himself, "Man, that was so embarrassing. I almost died because of that, but at least I am fine now." But in his mind, he was not fine at all. That we observe someone coming up as he thinks, "Well, if I look on the bright side, I feel like I can deal with her teasing better after this." Clenching his fist, we observe someone else has entered the scene. This woman with a lollipop in her mouth. The man wonders if she is visiting the shrine. It's so early, though. As she came near the main character, both of them were speechless in front of each other. She moved her leg up as she leaned in towards his face, saying, "Hey, you mind if I call you Kamoku?" He was a bit startled by this, but she came even closer, saying, "That's such a accused face you're making. No complaints here. My name is Koritsum. Do not forget it now, okay?" It looks like herself getting pressed on the main character as she was in a very awkward position. The main character was very startled by this as he tried to say, "Hold on, this and that," but it looks like someone gripped his shirt and pulled him back out. This was Katabami-san, who pulled him off as the other girl wonders, You observe the fox girl saying to the lady in front, "What are you doing to Kamoku?" "Oh, your ears, your ears." The main character tried to say to her as she says, "What do you want?" You observe that the other girl also had the fox ears as she says, "Oh, what's this? I thought I smelled a vixen nearby." "Of course you were here." As she talks the name of the fox girl, we observe the main character thinking to himself, "Fox ears and two tails to boot? Is she an acquaintance of yours, Katabami-san?" he tried to ask. She replied with a, "Yes, you could say that. We met briefly a while ago." The girl says, "I don't care what you do so long as you don't interfere. I am here to see that Kamoku over there." "Me?" he wonders as he was still held by the fox girl. You observe the dark-haired girl saying, "I was recently told out of nowhere that I now have a fiancé. So, in retaliation, I stole the family treasure and fled home real fast. One more thief, it looks like." Inside, it was a crazy old name registry. That idiot's name was listed right next to yours, Kamokin. I'd say there's a good chance that your ancestors were Shinto priests, whose names are written in the closely guarded registry. If I were to do it with a person like that, then they have to call off my engagement, don't you think? We observe she got the hand of the main character and then applied it to her bazongas, which looks a bit itchy. "It looks like I have to remove this part," she says. "It'd be amazing to get my hands on a man like you. Wouldn't you agree, Kamokin?" We observe the fox girl who is absolutely pissed by this action, and the main character who is absolutely embarrassed by this. We observe the fox girl saying, "Well, what the hell are you doing, you freaking fox? I will end you. If that's all you want, then we are done here. Get lost. What gives? So are you two going out?" she asked the fox girl. The fox girl strangled the main character while thinking gibberish to herself, saying, "No," and making excuses. While the black-haired girl says, "If that's the case, doesn't that make him fair game?" Well, now, looks like it's going to be a competition. And if it's between us fox spirits with Kamoku as the prize, we will just have to see who can outfox the other in a full-on sex appeal showdown. It looks like both of them are ready, while the main character swallows his saliva, thinking to himself, "Just what have I gotten myself into?" As the birds chirp, we observe the black-haired fox saying, "It's been a while since we've done one of these." Of course, the fox girl replied, "Yes." The main character, who was just pinned between both of them as they both converse with each other. Using that prank we did a while back. I mean that one. I'd rather not pull that one on him. First up is the jab. I wonder what they're going to do to me. The main character thinks to himself. It's a seduction showdown. The main character was absolutely embarrassed and blushing, saying, "Maybe today I'll actually cross the line and actually, so whoever Kamoku wants to touch more will be the winners." Touch? The main character couldn't understand. Well then, here we go. As all of them, or both of them, transformed into cute foxes. The main character, who is absolutely battling himself, as he says, "That does look really enticing. Both my hands moving on their own. Which one to choose, which one to choose?" It looks like he has chosen both of them, as he petted both of them at once. "Wait, what are you doing? You are not allowed to touch both of us. That is cheating," they screamed out. We observed the main character's technique of petting them was quite relentlessly harsh, and it looks like they have gotten that pet-friendly sensation. We observed them saying, "What's up with that unyielding touch? Will you up honest? Your petting technique is quite crazy good, you know." We observed both of them come into their human forms as they say, "I didn't expect you to be such a pervert. I'm heading back to bed now." He says, "I'm not a pervert, I just like the fluff." So embarrassing. I knew that was a bad call. "Excuse me, what are you trying to avoid with a half-assed dodge? A prank like that is nothing but a light jab." He couldn't understand while both of them says, "Tried Katabami?" "Well, I guess so. They're pranksters at heart." We observe in the next instance, both of them threw some strands of hair. "In that case, I will just have to get serious." "Sounds good to me. We are not messing around anymore," they say, and poof. There was a lot of cloudy fog right in front of the main character's eyes. He wonders what was happening, and there we have it. A lot of clones of both of the girls have been made in an instant, wearing different clothing. we see that all of them are coming closer to the main character. The main character who is actually terrified of things like this, thinking, rather than the tiger tail, have I installed turn on the fox's tail? It looks like all of them are there to get him, as all of them run and grab towards him. The main character tried to run away, but he was soon trampled by all of them. The foxes licking him over and trying to suffocate him with their bazookas. So who do you prefer? The main character couldn't even breathe, and with a crush of agony, all of them looked towards him with quite worrying eyes. It looks like the clones are gone now, and the main character is quite unconscious. This sure is fun to tease. I know, but we didn't quite understand it and got a little overboard. They says, but what gives? The black fox replied. We observe the fox girl petting him as the black fox says, I feel like he only had a good reaction when he brushed up against you. Being a third wheel is no fun at all. Hey, let's finish up this contest, shall we? Finish it up? Yes, if I win the next round, then he is mine for the taking. If I lose, then I will reluctantly agree to give him up. Okay. Any contest that will put him through the ringer is off limits for this one. Hearted? It won't be anything like that. She replied, saying this, and that. That's how we will decide this. The main character, who slightly woke up after that barrage of collapseness, found 2 katabami sands in front of his eyes and was quite in a sweaty position. We observed them, saying, can you figure out which one of us is real? The main character was in a bit of shock as both of them lunged towards him, saying, go ahead and choose whoever you want. You should pick the one over here. Transforming into other people is the specialty of the black fox. Victory is as good as her. I will make him mine, call off the engagement, and take back my freedom, she thinks to herself. The one over here is the black fox, I presume? The main character called it in an instant. She couldn't wonder what was happening as she came back to her human form, saying, how did you? My imitation should have been flawless. The main character replied by saying, well, you see, Katabami pulls rank on me all the time, so I've become quite familiar with certain things like her certain facial expressions. The thing is, Koritsu-san, I know we only just met. You got so caught up in your own thoughts that you barely able to maintain the contact with the people you were talking to. But the kind of assertive approach doesn't work well on someone like me. But I really do respect your ability to take the initiative like that. So if you just try to be a little more mindful of using those to hit on, then I'm sure that soon you will be able to find the one destined to save her. It looks like this worked like magic on her, and she was all blushy and fleshy, thinking to herself, to say such embarrassing things out loud like that. And she ran off down the stairs saying, you wait, I will get you for this one day. That was a good way of rejecting her, the fox girl says. But that wasn't my intention. Oh, by the way, so about that Kamoku she mentioned, it must be the other person from the next town over. So that's how it is. She is so impulsive, I know. Since I am friend with that old lady, the post office occasionally delivers her meals to me by mistake. I got your mail again. Thank you as always. Want a piece of hard candy for your troubles? It's the garnish kind. It's good. Thanks. That's such an old lady thing to say, don't you think? So full. In the classroom the next day, Kataba-misan was laughing, and her friend asked, what are you doing today? Well, I'm going to call it quits, you see, she replied. As both her friends left, saying bye-bye and all of that, the main character was studying. He glanced toward her in a dream. She was smiling as usual, but for the main character, something felt a little off. This morning, she had a high fever. Come on, get up. I'm heading to school now, he had said earlier. I'll go, she replied, bandaging herself up some more. Are you okay, Kataba-misan? You feel kind of feverish. He was quite worried as she melted into his grip, her hand in his. Did you catch a cold by chance? He asked. It's because of the contest with Kirithum yesterday, she said. I might have exerted myself. I have a fever from that fiasco. Will you take a sick day then? He asked as she melted and hugged him. Both the sister of the Katagami family and their little brother were laughing, embarrassed, and blushing. I already missed too many days. I have to go, she said. No, in that sorry state, you're not going, he insisted. But then came a laughing voice. It was Kamo-nisan, Kataba's sister, the mischievous one. If she must be there, then how about this? I'll go to school instead of her. Disguised as my sister, said Kamaki, the second daughter of the Katagami house. Kamaki-chan, The main character said, "Will that be okay?" He was on edge all day because of her. As soon as she noticed a pile around, she immediately tried to push it, then went fishing in a pond on the other side of the school. "What are you doing, fishing?" he asked, exasperated. After all, I'm so relieved no one was around. "Whenever she causes trouble, I'm almost dead," he said. "I'm more tired than if it was the regular Kataba Missin. Anyway, she's not acting like Kataba Missin at all. I'm surprised no one has noticed." She came near the main character, saying his name. Everyone went home. There's never a dull moment at my sister's school, is there? The friends, the classroom I've never seen before. It's all such a new and exciting experience for me. "Yeah, it's like an early high school orientation trip for you," he said. She looked like the real Kataba Missin when she was rolling around like that. But as she was going, the main character gripped her from behind, saying, "Watch out." She was a bit embarrassed as he said, "Turning around too much is dangerous for you, Katagami-san." But then she got away from him, saying, "Gross, don't touch me." Sorry, I'm truly sorry," he said. "You look so much like the real Kataba Missin just now. I accidentally, please, only do the edgy stuff with my sister." He explained, "We don't do that. At any rate, your Kataba Missin transformation was spot on. That's because you surprised me like that. You got to change back before someone comes, you know," she answered, agreeing. But it looked like someone was already out of the class. "You can't change back on your own?" the main character asked. "My sister did it for me this morning, you know," she said. "Your plan had that much risk involved." It looked like someone had entered. This was the sensei of the main character, named Ushigasa. Both were startled as she glanced toward the main character. He tried to explain, saying, "This girl, she's Kataba Missin's little sister, and that's just her cosplay." But the teacher had something else on her mind. "I haven't seen my glasses. Have you all seen them?" she asked. The main character in Kamaki said, "No, I haven't seen them. I can't see a damn thing past 30 centimeters without my glasses," the teacher said. "It seems like I put them down somewhere while I was lost in thought. I've been looking all over for them, but they haven't turned up." She blankly looked toward Kamaki and said, "Is this tiny, cute one over here a lost elementary schooler or something?" "Please don't say something like that," the main character said, observing the angry and grumpy look on Kataba Missin's sister. It looked like she had made the teacher transform into some kind of itchy vampire doll. She nailed it, and she loved it, but the main character was so terrified, even his soul was speaking. "What have you done to Sensei?" he yelled. The situation was bad enough already. Kamaki said, "I'm not a little kid anymore, you know. That's just what a kid would say," he replied. "But, all of this is just a magic trick, you know." He tried to explain to the sensei, but she said, "Huh? I don't know what you're talking about." It looked like she didn't realize her own situation. "I take it this means you haven't seen my glasses then?" "Yes," the main character said, thinking, "Is this some kind of miracle? If that's the case, I'm out of here. Just can't find them, you know," she said. "I don't know what you're up to, but hurry up and head home." She got interrupted as she bumped into the door, but then continued and left, still dressed like that. Both were in shock, but the sister of Kataba, Missin, looked all itchy, even drooling, saying, "There's a real tasty-looking sensei at this school, don't you think?" The main character called her name as she glanced slyly over. "I think I might just follow her home." "You can't do that, Kamaki-chan," he said. "We're getting some peaches as a gift. We'll give them and go back to the shrine later." When she looked at herself in the mirror, she thought, "Wow, what's with this scarab? It's cute." At the home of Kataba Missin, the main character asked if she was feeling okay and said he had gotten a gift for her. But here came her little sister and brother, who called out, "Kamaki-chan, boss mode, Nei-chan has appeared." Boss mode? He wondered as both of them took him. What could that be? He looked toward the door and thought, that doesn't sound like the usual. She came out looking like an absolute demon of a fox. The main character moved forward as she spoke something in his ear. He looked absolutely devastated. She ducked her head into his and then realized, "Kamo-kun, is that you?" she asked. "I just got up, so my hair is still a mess. I couldn't see a thing with my bangs in the way." The main character was absolutely surprised, seeing her true form. "I'm not feeling 100% well, so I couldn't apply my usual makeup, you know. So this is my true form." You should never have seen this one before. It's embarrassing, you know, she said, but he laughed in a good way and said, You look beautiful. I was a bit scared back then, but you did take me by surprise. She went absolutely bonkers, saying, I'm changing back to my usual self. Aren't you still feeling sick? I'll manage it somehow, she said as a lot of smoke came, and she transformed into herself, but a little different. She laughed and said, And with that, I'm finally back. The main character said, It's your elementary form, you know. These honkers are way too oversized, she said. The main character petted her, saying, Now get some rest before you push yourself too hard. I'm changing back, she said. So please don't pet me. Wow, it's like middle school again. She changed into her middle school style. You aged a bit, but not a lot, he said. Then she tried one more time, and this time she looked absolutely like a mom. Who's that? Oh, it's adult Kataba Missin. She looked more composed now, but there were still traces of her usual self. She got back in her true form, saying, I started having too much fun with it, but I'm now back to normal. Sorry I did too. Her sister came in, saying, Have you two finished flirting yet? She thought, So now I'm stuck like this. Her sister said, I told you, it's because you're too good at transformation. You overdid it and transformed too much. You think so? Kataba Missin said, Maintaining a transformation state is like going about the day on your tiptoes. If it's a form you're not accustomed to, it won't be long before you mess up and revert back to normal. But if it's a form you use so often that you associate it with your usual self, then it's fine and relaxed. Transforming too much causes you to forget the version of yourself you're used to. You're the one who taught me that, right, Nissen? Was that me? She wondered, making a cute face. If you're going to lecture me, then I'm going back to bed. That sounds like a better plan, you know? Though I still have to wash the dishes and do the laundry, which I can't do because I'm this size. The main character offered, Being that large sure is troublesome, isn't it? I could wash the dishes for you, you know. But she plucked him up like a kid and took him with her. Well then, Komo-kun, I'll be counting on you to finish those chores, Kataba Missin said. Hold on, the main character said as she put him in the bed and snuggled and cuddled onto him that he wondered what she was doing. Just shut up, she said. I'll probably get better faster if I fall asleep with you in my arms, don't you think? Quit squirming around. It tickles. Easy for you to say, he replied. The main character also felt kind of soft and comfortable, and it looked like he dozed off as soon as it happened. The next morning, he was still in bed with her, but now she had finally changed into her human form. The main character was quite in, how do I say this, an imaginative place, but he loved it. At midnight, the gloomy sensei noticed something. It looked like a girl, a high school girl. She wondered, a student this late at night? Should I say something? The girl's face looked somewhat English. It was none other than the sister of the fox girl, and it seemed the sensei had fallen for her. In the main character's school, he was being poked by the fox girl, who said, Take this and this. Could you not, please? He replied. A sound came, and sensei entered. The main character and the fox girl were shocked. He even grabbed her head since they asked for help from both him and the fox girl. The gloomy sensei was tense and thought blankly as they asked, What's wrong? Well, she replied, You know the middle school girl Kamo brought here the other day? Katabami-san's little sister, Kamaki. Oh, you remember her name? Nice, they said. What's happening is, lately, I've been catching glimpses of her all around me, even while I showered. I'm quite freaked out about it. She's stalking me, a middle schooler. Katabami-san herself said, I noticed she's been going missing sometimes lately. Good for her. That's not even the half of it. The gloomy sensei continued. Somehow, before I notice, she gets into my home and starts doing chores for me. I was in a daze as she cooked. The curry's almost done, she said. Sounds great on paper, but I can't shake this bad feeling. She's manipulating me. I guess I'm going crazy, am I? Here's your tea, Kamaki said, pouring tea from behind. As Sensei drank, she freaked out, realizing Kamaki was right there. There she is. Why are you using my first name? What's happening? Can you do something? The fox girl offered no real answers, while the teacher asked Katabami, As I recall, your parents aren't around. As her guardian, shouldn't you? The fox girl tried to stop her sister, whacking her on the head. Stop making trouble for her. But Kamaki openly refused, making fox noises. That was the extent of the fox girl's power. She said, "Sorry, Sensei, it didn't work. Please keep trying." "That's a bummer," Sensei said. "Why not just take her? You can have her." It seemed even Katabami Missen wanted to get rid of her sister. You realize she's just a child. She doesn't understand her feelings. The main character's sister was in shock, blushing as she said, "How could you? My feelings are real. I love you." She was sobbing. The gloomy teacher couldn't understand and apologized, tried to explain while petting her head. Sighing, she said, "I'm sorry, that's not it." She patted her gently. "She's really good at this, you know. What is there to say? I'm an adult, and she's a child. I find it hard to understand other people's feelings." "Why did you have to say it like that?" Kamaki sobbed. "I said something I shouldn't have and made someone mad." "Forget it," Sensei told her. "I never made friends in my childhood, and it only got worse as an adult." This story brought tears to the fox girl's eyes. The teacher continued, "Even before taking your age into consideration, I might end up really hurting you. I'm not worthy of anyone's love. Please understand." Kamaki wiped her tears and said, "I don't want to understand." This frivolous girl was even more stubborn than her sister. In one moment, both clung to their own claims. "Why don't you give up? She belongs to me. You're going to be my mate. Even Kataba Nissen isn't that bad." The main character said, "Is that how it is?" His eyes gleamed as he tried to stop her, but Katabami-san's little sister showed her real form, fox ears. The teacher thought it was cosplay at first and found it cute, but as she touched the ears, she realized they were fluffy and real. She was in a dilemma. "They're real, right? You're not human either?" she asked. The fox girl and Katabami Missen demonstrated, with Katabami transforming. "As you can see, I'm a kitsune, so there shouldn't be any problems, right?" "That's not the root of the problem here," the teacher said. "Everything I know is gone." The gloomy teacher couldn't handle the reality. "Slow down, please," Kamaki pleaded. "Do you think I'm disgusting?" The teacher, shaken, patted her head. "Okay, you win. If you're still in love with me when you're an adult, let's go out and become a couple. Please wait until then. And don't visit my home." Kamaki was happy, blushing, but thanks to her fox hearing, she only heard, "I love you. Let's become a couple." Her inner fox stretched into a devilish mode. "The pact is formed. You belong to me now. Didn't you hear what I said?" The teacher tried to justify, but she was floating in the air, thinking, "Let go of me. Wow, you're strong. Wait, please." Kamaki ran off with her. The main character, cuddled by Kataba Missen, said, "There's no stopping her now. I wasn't sure how this would work out, but everything's all right, I guess." But how will Sensei handle it, he wondered. Will they make it work? The fox girl said, "Don't worry. Once a demi-fox is on the hunt, we don't let our prey get away." She licked her lips. Sensei didn't return for a week. When she did, her voice was shaky, as if her soul had been ripped out. The whole family, Sensei, and the main character were out. He thought, why am I climbing this mountain again? I don't get it. All she said was to go to the shrine. Someone surprised him from behind. "Come on," she pounced, saying, "Did you need me?" "What's the work?" the main character asked. "What's that? You're curious about me? It's been so long." But someone interrupted. "Who are these brats?" Kiratsum-san asked. "Oh, come on, you're here too?" "Hello, Sensei," they said. "This is my gloomy Sensei. Nice to meet you." As they exchanged greetings, everyone was there. "Where's Kataba Missen, and what's she planning?" "Here she came. You all made it," Kataba Missen said with a grin. "I know this is sudden, but we're visiting home." The main character couldn't understand why she was going home so suddenly, or why Sensei and Kiratsum were coming. Someone called out, "What's wrong? Are you tired?" "Huff, huff, no," he said. "I was wondering why you asked the black fox to come along." "Good point. Why am I here?" the black fox asked. "You say you ran away from home, but you still live around here," Kataba said. "I'm not going anywhere until I make Kumoko-kun mine, you know." "You'll be living here your entire life then, because that's not happening," he replied. The fox girl and black fox debated wildly over the main character. "That's why you should get my family support, so we can help if something happens." "Are you actually worried about me?" the black fox asked. They grinned and hugged. "My dearest friend." "Get off, it's hard to walk," she said. The main character thought, thank God they're friends. If anyone's clinging to me, it's Kataba. That's her motive. She says I give better reactions and smell delicious. Both fox girls wanted to embrace him. They patted him, saying, you need a break, Kamo. No, I don't, he said. Don't push yourself. Feeling molested by fox girls, he did the most illogical thing and fled, but they leaped and hugged him, pressing him between their chests. He blushed. Do you really think you could get away in these mountains? That fall was nice, but how do we carry him like this? They said. Sounds hilarious, but too much of a pain. We're not there yet, Kataba said. Just a little further. You can see the entrance. Things might get dangerous, Kamokon sensei, so be careful. There are ancient torii gates here. As fog set in, the main character thought, this strange atmosphere is making me uneasy. He held a handkerchief to his face, but the fox girl and black fox went ahead. He heard whispers behind him, but when he looked forward, he'd lost sight of Kataba Missen. Oh no, I lost Kataba-san, he worried. Is it that way? The fox girl grabbed his arm from behind. That's not the way. It's dangerous. Stay next to me. Tearing up, he followed. This area is buried. If you get lost, who knows where you'll end up? We're almost there. She grabbed him like a toddler and took him to the shrine. He was in awe. Kataba-san, your house is way too big. She was relieved to be home. Don't call me a bum. Are you a bum? They entered, removed their shoes, and she said, make yourself at home. Don't mind if I do. Sensei, come on. My mom's a deity, so she speaks strangely. Just roll with it. The main character and Sensei accepted, but he thought, I don't know what's about to happen, but I need to be on my best behavior. Inside, a gigantic woman with enormous bazongas startled him. She gazed at him like the fox girl. Kataba sat him beside her. A promise emergent, but in the long month would encumber my mind until the dawn, she said. The main character thought, is this poetry? A premonition of Japanese silence. The black fox replied, even the vines upon the sacred fence fare poorly against the autumn's parting view, the lingering painful crimson of the blood flower. Her mom responded, the shrine holds endless prayers, yet its dew fades into the forest of lamentations. Sensei, in a blur, said, does not that very lamentation hasten the lone sleeper's dawn? The deity mother smiled, giving a thumbs up. The main character thought. Sensei figured it out instantly. It's like a code, but I don't know poetry. They stared, waiting for him to speak. He said, so like in spring, is it the dawn that's most beautiful? Everyone was shocked, their souls practically ripped out. They tried to teach him. You can't cite the pillow book like that, they said, squishing him. I can't believe you said that. What did I say? He stammered, blushing. You said mom's head is full of flowers, calling her an idiot, and implied she's promiscuous. They explained, I in a panic. He said, I have to apologize. That won't work. You have to make up for it, they said. I have no idea what the rules are, he thought. How can I fix this? I can't remember poetry. The mother hyper-focused on him, her face angry. All things must pass, he said as she reached for him. I'm unbelievably sorry, he thought, slumping to the floor. I have no idea what to say. Laughter erupted. The fox mother was laughing. Sorry for laughing. You're too precious. The main character thought, was it a prank? His soul felt ripped out, and he collapsed. The fox girl apologized. After I mentioned you were coming, Mom wanted in on it. You were adorable. The mother minimized her size to normal. Thank you for taking care of my little Tama. I'm her mom, she said, blushing toward the main character. She leaned close. Call me Porion-chan, okay? Even the fox girl shivered. Mom, don't make up names on the spot. My divine name isn't cute, you know. Just when he thought she was dignified, she was another fox girl. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree, he thought. They're so similar. By the way, how did you two join the conversation so easily? He asked. It doesn't matter what you say, the mother said. It was a prank on whoever had the least confidence like you. Speak proudly when you open your mouth. That was cool, Sensei, he said. You think so? She replied. The fox girl got teased by her mother, who laughed. Esteemed mother, did you mean me? Thank you for taking care of my girl, she said to Sensei. I heard you've been taking good care of Kamaki-chan, too. Never mind that I let her into my home, Sensei said. I profusely apologize for allowing your child to stay without permission. She smacked her head, bowing relentlessly. I assure you, I haven't laid a hand on her. Something different happened, the mother said. Why not go for it? Do your part. Have kids. Sensei was in a dilemma. I was hoping for your help to stop her. That was your plan, Sensei? The fox girl said. Forget it. Never gonna happen. They knew how foxes were. Our mother isn't human. She's a mentally stunned god. Her moral sense is non-existent. The fox girl said. Excuse me, the mother said. That's rude. You don't have to say it like that. Did I lie? The fox girl replied. Is that so? The mother said. Maybe I'll steal your boyfriend to show you how loose my morals are. She got close to the main character. What do you say, Nozomo? I prefer her because of those big bazongas. The main character and the black fox pounced on her. The mother laughed. I was kidding. That's quite overprotective. They snuggled him, saying, God, Mom, you're the worst. You're at least a Google years too early to take my girl. The Katagami family is not to be trifled with, the mother said. She's just like her daughter. There's no difference. I'm done for, the main character thought. This is what I get. After all the nagging and grabbing, the main character, Batabami-san, remembers something. She cranks out something from her backpack, saying, I brought what you asked for, Mom. After heaving all that and giving it to her mom hugs the bag, saying, Ah, how I long for this. Oh, I was wondering about that. The main character sees her acting childish and cuddling a backpack and asks, What's in there? We see Katabami-san just laughing while her mother grins toward him. Say, want to know? It's nothing but booze. A beautiful love, fermented, refined sake. You launch for that all the way here? He asks Katabami-san. She says, yeah. What about it? That's insane. We see her mother calling, Zenko-chan and Kokachin. They both arrive, both fox girls, and say, What do you require of us, Your Holiness? All in one tone. We observe her mother saying, Please go fetch us enough cups for everyone. They reply, Okay, Your Holiness. The main character wonders, more young foxes? As both of them bring out all the cups, saying, We apologize for the wait. Then let us adults partake. We see the goddess herself pouring a drink for the gloomy teacher, and she enjoys it. For the younglings, they can drink the rice malt amazake that Dharma-sama brought. Please enjoy yourselves. We see Katabami-san, as well as everyone else, sipping it and feeling nothing, while the two goddesses and the gloomy teacher are drinking sake like there's no tomorrow. The main character thinks, I'll just steer clear of alcohol. While that happens, we see Katabami-san's sister crawling toward her beloved gloomy sensei, saying, Hitomi-chan, I'm feeling a little woozy. Hitomi replies, There's no alcohol in malt amazake. Well now, I wonder if that's true. We see her transforming into her fox shape. The goddess, who is blushing all over due to the alcohol, says, Oh my, to think that you and her, well, she might as well be the goddess of dirty talk. The teacher says, No, we will not. Sure, she likes to bite me when she sneaks into my bed when she stays over, and her pranks get so bad that I've gone hoarse trying to scold her. But I don't even understand why she's hung up on me in the first place. Not that I think she's being malicious or anything. Okay, bedtime auntie's kink. We see Katabami-san and the main character's attention going toward their sensei. It's most likely because when I first met her, she was a feral fox running rampant throughout the town. She would bewilder people and steal whatever she could. After a bit of a scuffle, I managed to subdue her. I wasn't going to put up with this on my turf. She went on about how she was just trying to eat and how it shouldn't matter what people thought. So I beat it into her that it did matter, and that she shouldn't be so selfish. After that, I took her under my wing, and we've been sisters ever since. The sensei asks, So then, you are not blood related? We see the goddess saying, So when you were telling your life story, Sensei probably felt the same sort of kindred spirit with you. Hearing that, we see the sensei blushing, looking towards her, saying, I guess I really will wait for you to be an adult. The main character just looks at her while she asks, Did I say something funny? We see both the Black Fox and Katabami-san acting drunk, getting close to the main character. What's she talking about? Are you feeling it? Why are you two acting drunk, he asks. There's no alcohol in ours. Kata Bami says, drunk on the atmosphere, maybe. Same here, the Black Fox replies, right, right. You know how it is. We see both of them fighting over him, saying, don't copy me. Who wants to copy you? Someone calls the main character. Kamo, what will you do? It's all well and good to take it easy for now, but you should be thinking about the future too. We see that the teacher was saying this with her mouth full, mumbling, the time is coming when you'll need to make a decision. This and that. We see this made the teacher puke. Can you seriously please not right now? I've been drinking, so I'm going to puke. We see Kata Bami-san's sister thinking, even in pain, you look gorgeous. Now both foxes are fighting that we see someone tugging on him, saying, young one, would you care for a snack? They're the fruit of a rare tree that grows here. Delightfully bittersweet. These are none other than the Fox twins. The main character says, sure, I'll try one. And we see their mischievous eyes. Yes, he's about to eat it. Kata Bami stops him, saying, hey. Then she clinches both foxes. This is going too far for a prank. They apologize, saying, forgive us, Thomas-san. The main character doesn't understand. What do you mean by that, Kata Bami-san? She says, when humans consume too much divine food, though it's not quite like eating the food of the dead, they become unable to return to their world. Also, it'll give you hellish diarrhea. Scholar level. The main character says, what? She makes him remember the presence he felt by the stairs, hearing crude things like, are you on a date? Have you done it? Are you a virgin? The main character says, that's what they were asking. We learned this was someone who wandered in long ago, saying they didn't want to leave and ate everything they saw. Now they're stuck here forever. It's getting dangerous. We're out of here, sensei. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Kamokoen says that we see the goddess saying, boo, you should have stayed here. While Kata Bami says, I knew that was your doing all along. Anyway, we see Kamokoen getting called out by Kata Bami's mother, saying, dreams are fleeting. Can I entrust that girl to you? The main character replies, you can. We see the grin of her mother. At that moment, Kata Bami turns into her fox form. All right, we're going, she says, shoving the main character between her chest. The trio of foxes of the shrine says, like the seaweed that sways in the shallow river. Hidden from view, so too do I sense a love that, while still concealed, is perceived by others. With that, we see screams and Kata Bami-san flying. She lands outside the shrine. That was exhausting. So close to death. And with that, all the memories they accumulated today are lost, for both the main character and the sensei. Back at school, returning to their peaceful everyday lives, the main character is zoning out. Here comes Tatsumi-san, or rather, the Black Fox, saying, Kamokoen, are you here? The girl is freaking out, saying Kata Bami is acting weirdly. The main character doesn't understand. She tells him about how she wanted to talk to her about the mountain trip, saying, you got a second? But instead, she found her in a daze, with a demonic expression on her face. She screamed in fear as Kata Bami licked her face, rubbed her head, and bit her neck. I knew she had some screws loose. I ran away as fast as I could. But that's the first time I've seen her like this. To the main character, it sounds normal. That's just life with her. Well, I'm still worried about her. So let's go check on her. They go, and she's acting a bit drunk with string on her face. She sees him. You're here. You came too. She rubs herself over him. Yeah, you too, Kamokoen. She's being weird, isn't she? She sure is. Are you okay? Your buttons are off. She looks at her dress. Come on, do it right. You're like a little kid. The main character fixes it and pats her head. Are you sick again? At least she didn't transform into a giant this time. Tatsumi starts thinking. She seems kind of off, and well, she helped me out, so fine. I'll help her too. Behold, the Kuro Tatsumi family secret elixir. Do-do, little do-do-do. The main character asks, what the heck is that? And what the hell was that do-do? This is the stuff that's kept us going for generations. One of these will perk you right up. My parents gave me one as a kid when I was sick, and it worked wonders. That sounds a little fishy. Yeah, let's get healthy. She stuffs the contents into both the main character and Kata Bami. This one's on me. Now you guys should be super healthy. All right then, Kata Bami, If you're feeling better, let's have a chow. What's happening to you two? We see both of them glowing. She turns the pot over and sees a label from her ancestors ***. Warning, do not take too many. In the event of overconsumption, too late. If a human takes one, they will lose all inhibition. Just go along with them until it wears off. She starts sweating. Naya, what's done is done. Might as well take some too and join the fun. Time to drown this unfamiliar classroom in passionate youth. We see her getting caught by Kata Bammy from behind. Kata Bammy, you're still not in your right head. Oh, I'm feeling much better. A little warm, though. Don't just go for the first thing that you see. You smell too good. Kata Bammy drools over her and tries to bite her. She screams to the main character, I can't hold on much longer. Please save me. But the main character is on a different kind of heat. He's taken the medicine too. She remembers the human warning that we see the main character's hand over her flustered face. She grabs both their fluffy tails and starts patting them. I always wanted to have my way with these tails, she says, stroking them precisely. Their expressions, well, let's just say, not safe for this channel. I can't ignore those fluffy ears either, she says, twitching them, patting their heads. Oh no. Being treated like a puppy has me feeling all funny. Good girls, he says, caressing their chins, petting their faces, even getting bitten. Hey now. No biting. You're a good girl, yes you are. Now turn into a dog. No. Kumo's going to turn us into a dog. Snap out of it, Kata Bammy. But she's already gone. She's a dog now. Back to the tales, as night passes with screams echoing. The main character wakes up? Just a dream? No, wait, that's a good thing. Doing that to Kata Bammy and Kurisum to any girl ever would be difficult. He checks his hand. Why is my hand like this? Whatever. I'm going back to bed. Kumo-kun's technique is not to be trifled with. When he wakes up, he instantly apologizes for making both foxes into his personal dogs.